Hola, world. This is the Real Resilience Talk podcast. Somebody's trying to overhear. Okay, funny. Yeah, what's up? I have a special guest on here today. We are here for a special reason because we have a family member of ours that is close and near and dear to our heart who's doing a project and asked some questions. And I said, you know what? Why not use this as an opportunity to express some things? Maybe it can help some things, and then, maybe it can lead to something good. So this is Real Resilience Talk, episode 61. Let me tell y'all straight up, bottom line, up front. This show has no affiliation with any official organization. This is just me, Cam, and whoever happens to be my guest, expressing ourselves using our First Amendment, trying to be our best, trying to help something with the quizzes. And I'm trying to rhyme. It's not working. All right. But in all sincerity, though, just don't try to get me canceled, dog. If half of y'all can be on TikTok doing y'all silly little dances and shit and on duty and shit in uniforms, then I can express myself and we can talk about some subjects of resilience. But today, because a lot of people don't know me or things like that, so we're going to ask some questions. I got on the show with me today a special guest, a very important person to me, a service member serving and defending the Constitution, my firstborn. Hoorah. My little lady, my little girl is now a grown woman and a United States Marine. So she's going to interview me with some of these questions that came from our relative, Katie. And she's going to answer some questions too. But off the jump, out the door, I got to ask her because she's a guest on my show. This is my little girl. My C is what I call her. What is resilience to you, ma'am?
Well, resilience to me.
This is where I get mocked as a father. Yep.
Well, I think everyone has different ways to get through tough times, but I think overall resilience is just to keep moving forward and to get through what you're getting through. You know what I'm saying?
I do. It does make perfect sense. And you can tell I brainwashed my child very well. We can call it raising, training, or just brainwashing, but it's about how you hit. It's about how you can get hit and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. So yeah, and shout out to the songs of Pelocino. You can look him up. And Monchichi Rex is a producer. Great music, great dude, great brother, great uncle to my kids. And I love you, man. God. Thank you. On God. All right, so we're going to get into these questions, okay? I've been running my fat mouth enough. All right, here we go.
All right.
Here we go. These are going to be questions about military experience. I can only speak from my experience. We can only speak from our experience. So anybody out there that's naysaying and hating, why don't you make your own damn podcast and you can express your perspective from these things, because these are just our experiences. I'm not speaking for the entire military population, whether it's active duty reserves, anything past, present. I'm speaking from Cam's experience from 2002 to a long time after. Okay? So here we go.
All right. Number one, when you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was a child, I wanted to be a professional boxer, a comedian, and a football player in the NFL. Maybe I aspired too much to be like Deion Sanders, but I thought I could do it all. Maybe I'm like a low-key comedian, but other than that, I haven't accomplished the rest. But, there that is. So, yeah, professional boxer, comedian, and NFL player.
He's all of those now, actually.
No, I'm not.
What moment in your life made you decide that you knew you wanted to be a Marine?
9/11, when the towers fell. I looked at that moment and where I was living and how I was living, and I said I would rather risk dying for something than to continue living for nothing, which is what I felt like I was doing in my circumstance. And going to the Commonwealth Challenge, there was a lot of examples of great Marines there. And I had a great mentor, a neighbor of mine in these apartments we stayed in, Carl. He was a Marine. And I said, why not? Why not? Why not do what I still feel is the best? That's my perspective. That's my bias. Why not try the hardest and try to be a United States Marine? So that was me. What about you?
What made me want to be a Marine?
Yeah.
It's kind of all I've ever known since, I grew up around the Marine Corps with you guys.
That's right. Her mama wore a combat boot. For real, though.
There was no, I guess, big thing like your story, I guess. But I knew... Oh.
Oh, it's good. It's good.
I don't know. College is expensive.
There you go.
I didn't have money for college.
And I ain't no good dad that got a college fund waiting for her. So
honestly, though, the job that I have in the Marine Corps is a big reason why I joined. It's the reason why I was that's that's what made me make the decision to actually go through with it. So
I love it. I love it. And what is it? Strength through truth? Truth through strength? What is it? What is the motto?
Strength through truth.
Yeah, y'all be bringing forth the truth.
Yeah.
You know, information warfare is real if we haven't noticed. So thank you for your service.
Thank you.
That's no mockery. That's real. All right, next question.
Why did you specifically pick the Marine Corps to join?
Look, Corps is in the word, in the title. Like, you are a part of a core. You are a part of a unity. You are a part of a family. And I'm big on blood makes you related, but love makes you family. And actually, a mentor both of us know, she said the other day to me, she said, blood may be thicker than water, but blood ain't never quenched nobody's thirst. Oh, bars. So for me, the Marine Corps felt like the closest knit, the one that would get closest to the action, the whole first in, last out type thing. And like I said, after the towers fell, I kind of had a death wish, and I figured I'd want to die for something. So I figured, how could I accomplish that the fastest? That's me. If you want to throw in anything there, why'd you specifically join the Marine Corps?
I mean, that is true. Like, I feel like people always say like, oh, you gain a family when you join the Marine Corps, but it really is true. Like, it sounds cheesy, but it's true. I've only been in for a year, but I feel like the friends that I have through the Marine Corps, I'm going to have for the rest of my life.
That's facts.
And the people I call uncle and aunt are the people he met when he was at my stage in the Marine Corps. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, 20 some years later, we still family, man. And all of us look different. So it has nothing to do about external or what your, how you grew up in your culture or your race or religion, none of that stuff, man. We got friends and family of everything. And that matters because I think it makes us better because we get different perspectives on so many things. So I love that. It is a family. Blood makes you related. Love makes you family. But we got to live up to it. So anybody out there listening, if you're out there influencing things, whether it's the Marine Corps or any of it, we got to live up to it. We have to create an environment where people can thrive and be their best selves. Didn't say coddle, didn't say baby, but to where they can be their best selves. I'm about to make this my own podcast. This is supposed to be an interview. Sorry, Katie. Sorry for your assignment. Okay.
All right. What was boot camp like, or your training experience like?
Well, it was. I do feel like I had somewhat of an advantage because I did go to the Great Commonwealth Challenge Youth Academy as a teenager, so it gave me an idea of some military structure. I played a little bit of sports. Usually, always quit them because I was soft and weak. I've talked about that enough before, but it was hard, to say the least. And I thought I was going to go there and just excel. And I realized how much I am garbage. I can remember my drill instructor even saying one time, Kemba, I make you a squad leader, but boy, you so fucked up. And I just said, "Ah, sir." And all I did was early child, late child. That was the most responsibility I was given. And I think I messed that up a few times by making sure that things weren't locked or secured. Long story. If you know what early child, late child recruits are. But that was the extent of my responsibility. And it was hard. And I definitely didn't know if I could make it or if I would be able to do it. And it's a challenge like no other. But on the other side, as in the spirit of yin and yang, on the other side of that fear, on the other side of that doubt, on the other side of that worry, there's this accomplishment and this sense of belonging that you just can't buy. You can't get in a high. It's real. And you have to keep that fire alive. I really believe in that because it can wear off. But that was my experience. It was tough. It was hard. It wasn't perfect, but damn it, I'm going to tell y'all right now, it was so worth it. That's me.
Facts. Definitely a humbling experience.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell me one of the most memorable positive experiences.
You're sitting next to me, and this was in the Marine Corps. Meeting your mother was not in my cards. Meeting her, falling in love with her, a great person, somebody I needed, somebody I still need in my life. But obviously all our children being born. But you specifically, we were in Iraq, and all those people used to call uncles. They protected me from a lot of operations and a lot of things that could have put me in harm's way. And they even created like a baby shower like fund, unbeknownst to me. And they had all found a way to send money back. Shout out Benny, Robes, Lil Daryl, all of y'all, Carlos. I love y'all. Gonzo. There's so many to name. I don't want to not name anybody. But long story short, we were in the middle of OAF 2. And these guys were so concerned about this little girl that I had along the way that my wife was having back in Philadelphia. And they did all of that. And that was one of the most positive experiences. And then when you were born, I wasn't there. But that was an amazing experience to have a child, to know that I was a father. I didn't get the opportunity to be a daddy yet, but I came in the Marine Corps again with a death wish, honestly. And I found life through the Marine Corps. I found life through relationships and a child, right? And more children since then, having your brother, amazing, your little sister, COVID baby, by the way, 4 years old. COVID baby, but she's amazing and she makes every day better. But I say y'all, and then running up the stairs in Philadelphia on leave. Actually, I was on special liberty. I'll go ahead and be honest. I told the command that I was going to sign my father out of jail, and they gave me the liberty under short notice. But I got a ring with my little PFC pay, and I went to Philadelphia and ran up those rocky stairs for the first time in my whole life with your mother. And I asked her to marry me at the top of those stairs. And that was one of the best moments because, you know, I told her, I said, if you let me, you won't regret me. You know what I'm saying? But we're still working through that all these years later. She's been settling for less. So there's some of my most positive experiences. And that's all of that is on the foundation of the Marine Corps. And there's more, but I'm not going to sit over here and brag or flaunt. I'm very grateful for all of it. So that's me.
Got chills. Was there a change in how you were treated after serving in the war, or how you were treated differently by the American public? Most definitely.
And I'm not some combat decorated person. I always did what I was told. I volunteered for things, but I didn't get, I didn't go overseas as much as a lot of other people. Only went to Iraq one time, but definitely have served. I can tell you that and put myself out there. But yes, when you come back and you're a combat veteran, especially in the time post 9/11, you are treated with such an appreciation, such a validation, and it's intoxicating to a certain point because you can lose yourself and get caught up in, and it's a great thing to be, so don't hear me wrong, but like your whole identity is woven into being a Marine, and it can pump your head up a whole lot. And it definitely did for me in a lot of ways. That was probably not good for me at being a young age and being immature. But yes, definitely was treated with open arms, with damn near roses, and probably discounts and drinks at bars and just gratitude that I probably didn't deserve or didn't earn. But I was a Marine, and they just saw the whole Marine Corps and they saw the whole military when they see me. And that's one thing a lot of young people need to realize if you're serving, that we are ambassadors every day. So when they see us, they don't see Cam. They see Marine, they see sailor, they see the entire United States military. So we have to realize that sometimes. And I fall short of that. I'm not perfect by any means. I probably set a bad example a lot of times, but I say all that because the generation before us or generations before us, whether it was Korea or Vietnam or even World War II, because it was so many people, but especially Vietnam, did not have those veterans. So my heart goes out to them, and I will always be there to say thank you to them, because half of them didn't even choose it. They just got stuck with it. At least we're all volunteer force, and we knew what we were getting into, and we had things to motivate us and inspire us to want to join. But yes, totally different treatment after being a Marine. And yeah, they treat you like you're somebody. And sometimes I don't know if I always deserved it, to be honest. How about you, since being a Marine, and how people treat you?
I'm a newbie Marine, so I don't know if I have much to speak on that. But I will say that like people are grateful for you serving.
Yes.
When you're in any type of Marine Corps or military branch.
It's facts. Yeah, I mean, you got to look back in your history. We got to know our history or else we repeat it. But those Vietnam veterans got spit on, called baby killers. I mean, just foul things. And they didn't even want to be there, half of them, but they went there. And the bonds that you create, though, I mean, you're talking about civil rights movement. You're talking about so many things at that time. No matter what they looked like, they fought for each other and they died for each other. Maybe not for the cause because they weren't wrapped into that. But I want to say that because anybody listening, like, there's a special amount of gratitude and respect that needs to go to that generation. They had it bad. We have it much better. So,
what did you guys do to entertain yourself during the war?
I think it applies to all of the time and service. It's not just the war, but I was in Taqadum, I was in Abu Ghraib, and then I did some little things on the outskirts of Fallujah. And I'll tell you right now, eating so good. I think that's one of the questions, so I'll go ahead and get ahead of that. The food was like, I'm gonna tell you right now, some of the best food I ever ate was in Iraq. Not lying. Whether it was the chow halls we had, they were good on the morale. during OF2 and forward, of course, in the beginning, it was very hard. It was just MREs for a lot of people. But I know it was those days, too, on certain things. But I'm talking about Abu Ghraib, one of the best chow halls in the whole world I've ever been to. And they would cook you a cheesesteak right there, like, however you want it. And it was just like ample amounts of food. And then a lot of people sent care packages. So we always had like baby wipes and like snacks and beef jerky. And it wasn't just our, people that we knew. It was just like people supporting troops, sending stuff. So like USO packages and stuff like that. But for entertainment, man, a lot of music, a lot of movies on watch, on posts at certain points. Different posts, of course. If you're at an armed post, no. But there was times where I was just like a radio watch or just like I was a radio operator on call to help with things. And so unless I got called, I didn't have much to do. So, you just kind of watch movies, read books, a lot of good conversations, spending time together. I mean, we had a baby powder fight one time, no lie, in a tent. And the CO and the leadership at the time, they thought we were like, for some reason, throwing drugs at each other, which would be the most biggest waste of any kind of drugs. But they did a whole like urinalysis on us, and they sent in, I don't know who it was, like the MPs to come and sniff out. We literally had a baby powder fight because we had ample amounts of baby powder. I'm not lying. These are the things that, not while on duty. You're always on duty, of course, but like, we had our 12-hour, 18-hour shifts or whatever it was, and then we go back to the little tent and, you just try to entertain yourself. And a lot of letters. Luckily, we were communications, so phone calls were pretty decent because that's how I knew you were born, because I was on a call. I actually got to use it was like the T9 phone or whatever it was. But yeah, so you just try to, like I always say, like, do your time, don't let your time do you, and then try to make sure you're ready, whether you're a quick reaction force or whatever, staying ready for what was coming. There's many times I'm talking to you and telling you these things that we were doing it in flak and Kevlar because we were waiting for something to occur, or we were about to go out and do something, or we were getting mortared, which was a lot of times what happened. Just, and you just like earthquake, you don't know what's coming next. So, but again, I'm not over here trying to say I'm some war hero or anything like that, but there's beauty in the suffering, and there's bonding that occurs when you're all struggling in this together. That's the biggest word, is together. And like I talk about suicide prevention and everything, connection. We say connect to protect, connection is the most important thing. And I had that in those brothers and sisters over there. Love those people for the rest of my life. And we don't always agree on everything, but we love each other till death do us part. That's no lie. It's like a marriage. It's funny. Did I answer the question? Shit, sorry.
Yeah, you entertain yourself with some baby powder. So. That was the question.
Yeah.
What supplies did you regularly have an abundance of besides baby powder?
Baby wipes. I was calm, so we had a lot of batteries. Just a lot of batteries, right? We had a lot of ammunition. And NVGs, night vision goggles, were serialized gear, and those were kind of hard to come by sometimes. We actually, when we did Phantom Fury, I was not smart enough to go and sign out NVGs, and I went on a convoy, and I was a driver and a radio operator for the vehicle, and I drove all the way to Fallujah, blackouts, and I didn't want to admit that I didn't have NVGs, and everyone in the vehicle with me when we got there was like, oh, we made it. And it was so scary because it was like the black of night. Obviously, you want to do things of that nature when it's, when maybe the enemy's, I don't know, vulnerable, night times type stuff. We learned it from George Washington with the whole crossing the Delaware. You can catch people while they're sleeping type stuff. But long story short, I drove with blackouts, no lights, just my eyes, and we were driving past on the routes there, like past Amtrak's, and there was some tanks, and somehow we made it. And I just kept trying to focus on the lights in front of me. So yeah, NVGs, you got to go sign them out. It wasn't that they weren't there. It was just that I was a dumbass and didn't go sign for them. So that's something. But I will say, man, between Taqadum and Abu Ghraib, like we had an abundance of a lot of good things. And they used to sell DVDs over there. This was before it was like streaming and stuff. Like you could buy one DVD, a CD, and you'd have like all of the Rocky movies on one CD. And it was the coolest thing ever. And they had all these hustlers out there, like from Iraq, just selling stuff, like vendors and stuff. So yeah, a lot of knickknacks, a lot of cool stuff. We had an abundance of a lot of stuff, but definitely like baby powder, baby wipes, all the things you would want to do if you're in the middle of nowhere. And I think that probably created a need because of OF1 and the initial push when they just had nothing. Mm-hmm. And, this is a year later, and like people are caught up to what the needs are, what the troops are saying, but then we just want to pattern overabundance. So, and honestly, man, an overabundance of love. with the people I was with. We really leaned on each other heavily, and that was real. And honestly, there was some really nice people in Iraq. So not all people are bad anywhere. There was some of the coolest, most hospitable, would feed you. Just some of the coolest, nicest people. But there was also insurgents and people that hated us, or people that act like they were nice to our face and then would, dig IEDs at night and things like that. Whole nother story. So, yeah.
Were there anything that you were running low on?
No, not in my situation. I'm sure there's many who were. But we would do Jordanian water runs, and we always had big, giant bottles of water. And we'd have to do a convoy to, I think it was to Jordan, and get, that's why I said Jordanian, out there. And they would give us these big, giant waters. And I just remember we would freeze them. And then we would be with the population, like the kids and some of the people out there would be like, Mr. Cold water. They'd want cold water. And, candies and stuff to hand out to kids and soccer balls and stuff like that. So, no, I didn't lack anything, to be honest, but that was just me. That was my experience.
Sorry, I see where I was at. How did you cope with the stress or the pressure?
A lot of PT, a lot of exercise. I love the arts. I love writing. I love journaling. A lot of conversations. I'm obviously a talkative person who starts a podcast that nobody listens to, me, and talks out loud all the time. So a lot of communication that matters so much to communicate with the people around you, even quiet people, introverted people. We need connection. So a lot of conversations and a lot of laughs. I can't even share half of them because it's just, just funny stuff. Nothing like vulgar or like to hurt anybody. Just stuff I won't say next to my daughter and on the podcast. But yeah, we definitely entertained ourselves and had fun at times. And then there was other stressful times where literally I'm writing a poem on a convoy and I'm like, Lord, please not under my tire, because you just don't know when, but maybe if some things will happen. And luckily I never had to go through that, but I know a lot of my brothers and sisters did, and rest in peace to them, or rest in victory to the ones who are alive, but also still trying to thrive and deal with those wounds because they never go away. So don't hear me wrong. Like, it was such a wonderful place. We just tried to make the best of it. But exercise, man, PT, I got swole over there. You know what I mean? Like they was just like, we stayed in the gym. My man Carlos and me were gym buddies. So we put on some Tupac and we would just be lifting, and then we go back to sleep. And then there was a dude named Espinosa. We used to call him Cabeza because his head was so big. And he was like, I gotta get big, bro. If you ever listen to Espinosa, I love you. I miss you, bro. I don't know where you're at, but man, what a funny dude. Good dude too. And then like Sparks made his music. He like had equipment sent and like recorded that song. Shout out Caleb. I love you, man. I miss you too. But yeah, like there was a lot of, in our little group, we did a lot of art, and then a chaplain and faith and praying and reading, Bible and a lot of praying, because, you be an atheist until you're in a combat zone. That's my experience. That's teach their own. But definitely let you know how vulnerable you are. So it was a lot of ways to cope, or it was necessary to have ways to cope. Healthy outlets, same thing I'm talking about now. So, yeah.
What war did you serve in, or where exactly did you go? You kind of already answered.
Yeah, Operation Iraqi Freedom, 2TAC-2, and where was the Al-Anbar province of Iraq, between outskirts of Fallujah, Taqadum, and Abu Ghraib. I spent time at. So, yeah.
Do you remember experiencing any culture shock when arriving to these new places?
Of course, yeah. I mean, you have to understand. There's a 3-block warfare. Like on one block you could be fighting, on one block you could be handing out food, and the other one you could do humanitarian and defense type operations. So you don't know who's who in the zoo, and it's not like for the initial invasion. Of course, the Iraqi forces had certain attire that made them indicate that they were who they were, but that wasn't all. There was, obviously insurgents then as well, and people dressed normal. So you just never knew who was who in the zoo. And you had to be mindful of that and keep your head on a swivel and be aware that you may be talking to, waving to, saying hi to a person who later on tonight could be digging a IED and provides a explosive device to kill you and your family. And family, meaning fellow Marines and sailors and soldiers and things. So that was definitely a shock in not knowing who you could trust. But to say that all of them were bad would be a lie. And I know of close encounters where people, this is so sad, but the Al-Qaeda and Taliban influenced forces and things of that nature but Al Qaeda, definitely, they would go to a village, go to a neighborhood, and if you're a father or anybody really, either you go dig this bomb, or we're going to kill you and your family. So you make your choice. Fill in the blank name, Scott or whatever. I don't think too many of them were named Scott, but you know what I'm saying, right? And I know of close friends who had to take those people out because they'd see them on post from a distance, digging, and then it would feel like you have that double-edged sword of, okay, yeah, combat, you killed somebody, you shot somebody, but you killed a dad, and that dad didn't, what would you do in that circumstance? So it was very culture shock, and then realizing that they didn't ask for us to be there, right? And then I try to put myself in their shoes. Like if they invaded, let's say any place in America, how would we respond? I don't know, right? And you're coming from a whole different background and faith and culture and just so much. But I will never say that everyone in Iraq was bad. There was some really good people there that are just dealt a certain hand in circumstances. But it was a culture shock. Very much so. I remember I had a detainee, not a detainee, but it was like a working party thing. They were filling bags or something for us. There was a lot of high school barriers, and we happened to get, sometimes people would come and help, and I'd have to kind of guard them, but they were nice. And they'd be like, "Oh, I know you." They saw my cross, and they'd be like, "Oh, you, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus." Like they would do like the hands and stuff because they knew we were like, mainly, not all, but background like Christian and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, Allah, Allah. And, we have a conversation. But anyway, I could digress. But yes, culture shock on many levels. But you're also with your brethren and your sisters, and we're there together. So like it or not, we're all we got. Definitely apply then as it does now. So
who is one of your biggest role models that you've looked up to as a Marine?
Mark Whitehurst. I love you, man. I was actually just thinking about him today. I was listening to one of those Inspired by Florian videos, and Mark's the first person to put me onto those, as well as Stoicism. And he led me to going to church more and having a real relationship with God. And Mark Whitehurst, I could name off so many, and I'm sorry if you're listening and I didn't name you off, but he is the biggest influence on me being who I am right now. Introduced me to Stoicism, helped grow my faith in things, has been there with me. Your mom have been going through rough times and maybe thinking about divorce. He's just a constant source of love and support in my life. Not to mention all the other uncles you have and stuff, but he's definitely the biggest role model for me that's living that I've known. And there's other ones too, of course, but definitely. And he was my gunny at one time, and I was his corporal, and he allowed me to grow. I wouldn't have been a drone instructor without him when I was. It's just so much. So Mark Whitehurst, I love you, bro.
What was your job assignment, MOS, and did you choose it or was it assigned to you?
I was an open contract Marine. Unlike you chose your, and we made sure you got your job that you wanted. But I was an open contract Marine, so it was after 9/11. Everyone wanted to be infantry. I would have had to wait for a while to go to boot camp because it was so backed up at infantry training battalion. So I just said, how can I go fastest? They said, sign open contract. I signed open contract. I didn't even know until the night before I left to go to the school in California that I was actually going to be a communications Marine, a radio operator. So that's the job I got. 0621, packed with plenty fun. Always got a ready gun. You could talk about us, but you can't talk without us. Oh, Charlie Oscar, Mike, Papa Lima Tango, calm. Yeah. And now I do something different. Now I put the OG in Pogue. I'm an admin officer, and I do admin work. But I'm also I work with suicide prevention and different stuff. So, but I'm leaving soon. So very soon, very, very soon. So that was my first and my main MOS was communications.
Were you awarded any medals or citations, and how did you earn them?
Oh my goodness. This is, how about you? You got any yet?
Blank canvas.
Going overseas, we had a choice to pick the Iraqi Freedom Medal or the GWAT-E, the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary. And at the time, we were all knowing that we were going to go back soon. So things obviously changed because I didn't. And then I went to the drill field and made Marines that went to a lot of places, and a lot of them, rest in peace to them, Marines that I actually met from, it's a lot, but they passed away in Afghanistan, Iraq and stuff. But so I got the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary for being in Iraq for that deployment in OIF2. You get National Service Defense, Good Conduct Medal. I've been awarded some other medals, but I'm not going to go into it. You hang around the barbershop long enough, you get a haircut. You hang around military long enough, you'll get some medals and stuff. But man make the money, money never make the man. I don't know if anybody else heard that thumping, but that's a 4-year-old that just woke up from a nap. So, all right, cool.
It's a monkey. What is one of your favorite motivational quotes that has stuck with you through hard times?
This too shall pass. Actually, we both had a tattoo. We both got the tat right here. Now she got it. I got it. This too shall pass. And that is a good and a bad thing, right? When things are good, be grateful because they will pass. And when things are bad, be patient, be graceful, because guess what? They will also pass. All of us are finite. Our time on this earth is finite. And everything good or bad will pass. So it helps me with gratitude and helps me be resilient during the hard times because it will all pass. So will we, and we'll nothing but dust in the wind. What about you? What's it do for you?
This too shall pass?
Yeah. Is that yours too?
What?
The quote?
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up, monkey?
Hey, girl.
What's up, player? Yeah, I got turtles and I put them in the bathtub so they could kind of soak and play around a little bit. But but this is shall pass.
Yeah, this shall pass is pretty important to me. I mean, I will say, boot camp has probably been the hardest thing I've done so far in the Marine Corps, but it got me through that. Seriously.
All right, come on, sit up here, get on the interview. I've never had the little monkey on the podcast before, so all right, so we can ask questions, all right, and you can answer too, okay? So we're on the camera, all right. Say hi, world. Say hi. Okay, all right, cool. Now we want to be quiet. All right, good to go.
No, but just like you said, I mean, good or bad times, like it will pass. So it makes you enjoy the good times, and it makes you, in those bad times, know that it's gonna be over soon, and that it's not gonna last forever. So, it definitely gets me through life, I'd say, and it forever will get me through everything, I think. So yeah, that's why I got a tat. It was my first tat.
Yeah, it was I don't know, it was something of the teens tat, but you drew it. I got an hourglass that she drew, and it's in her handwriting. This too shall pass, because yeah, man, the days are long but the years are short. Even these kids right here, they're little for a little while if you're out there being a parent. And even the dark times when I've shared this on the show, like suicidal attempts and ideations. If I'd have done those things, I would have left this person behind. Who knows how that would have impacted her for the rest of her life. I couldn't see that then. But also, I wouldn't even know this child right here if I had done and carried out certain things. So just always keep in mind this too shall pass, whatever it is. And if it's good, then great. Be grateful for it. But if it's bad, just wait. Just wait. It'll pass. It always does. It always does.
Every plank I do.
She was an Iron Man at boot camp because of plank. 6 minutes, 37 seconds, right? That's how you won the Iron Man award? Shout out. What's up?
If you hadn't gone into the military, what other jobs do you think you would have gone into? Gia is just mean mugging. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she is. Man, I was a dishwasher and I did some other things to earn money. And I don't know, man. I really don't, man. The Marine Corps saved my life, gave me a life. I am forever grateful, no matter how much I may at times complain. It's almost patriotic to complain as an American because we can always find something to complain about. It's kind of good, too, because that's how we progress and we make things better. But I am forever, forever grateful. I have no idea. I don't want to give I'll be dead or in jail. I'll just say at that time in my life, I had a attraction or propensity to just do stupid stuff. And I've got friends that continue to do stupid stuff and, they're not in better places. And that's no diss or judgment. That's just saying that I think I'd probably got myself trapped in some way. And if you know the expression of trapped, yeah, I don't know, but work, I'd probably just kept being a hand. I'm not even mechanically inclined, but I sucked at any of that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'd probably be like under the table worker. I might have worked at I'd continue to do fast food or restaurant stuff because I was HDMO. My boy Adam, I love you, man. We was HDMOs together, head dish machine operator. We did that. Old Country Buffet. What's up? Old Country. And, waiter, stuff like that. I really don't know, man. I had no sense of direction or anything. I would have probably just messed something up. I have no idea. I don't know.
What ways would your life and mindset be different if you weren't a Marine?
Wow. I'd have continued to be the weak, disloyal, chasing the wind individual that I was. Yeah, I don't even want to know, to be honest, because it's not so much the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps is made up of people, and really good people, by the way. And some of the best people I've ever met in the world are Marines, and some of the worst people I've ever met in the world happen to also be Marines. So it's not like just like a cut and dry thing, like you're automatically this awesome person. Just like any other thing, there's bad people at Costco, good people too, so on and so forth. But I'd say there's more good than bad. And without those people, without leaders that have given me guidance and grace and patience and challenged me and helped me grow, I would not be who I am at all. And yeah, did that answer the question? Shit.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
What?
Yeah, it's cool. We're gonna clean it up. It's cool. All right. Yeah, the turtles in the bathtub. They cool.
I just saw them playing in the bathtub. I didn't know what it is.
Yeah, they're in the bathtub.
They're in the bathtub. They cool. They cool though.
They're just taking a quick bath.
What did they do in the bathtub?
All right, so everybody, I'm a turtle lover, and I have turtles, and sometimes you gotta let them soak in the bathtub, let them kind of clean themselves and just hang out, and they hydrate that way too. So, yeah, they just chilling, baby. They're gonna be all right. Okay.
Yeah, we'll play with them later.
We're gonna play with them a little bit. We gotta rinse them off. They're good. I gotta bleach the tub afterwards. Mom's gonna get mad at me.
No,
they probably dude. Don't touch the water, okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes they pee the bed. They pee in the pool. That's why we can't take them to the pool. So, all right. Next question.
So, what are the most important qualities to have as a Marine?
Unselfishness, decisiveness, make a decision, which I think all of us are coming in, because if you were into aviation, if you were into weapons, if you were into fill in the blank supply communications, you could have chose any other branch, but you chose the Marine Corps for some intangible reasons, which is a beautiful way of life. As long as you continue to sustain the transformation. That's what I talk to you and I talk to your friends about a lot of times, because we can stagnate. And then it's like you get kind of dependent on the training schedule, and you get dependent on the Marine Corps to do everything for you, because it does in boot camp and in the initial stages. But when you get to the real operating forces, you got to push yourself. You got to have some personal resilience. And if not, you will stagnate, and running water never grows stale, and stagnation leads to degradation. So you have to continue to find ways to fulfill yourself and ways to challenge yourself to grow, because sometimes the mission you are handed may not be the most fulfilling thing in the world. So I stress that a lot. And that's the decisiveness, the decision-making. Act on something, try something, find healthy outlets. I think you need to have integrity. People need to know that you're trustworthy. But I definitely, unselfishness, man. I mean, that's the whole thing about service. It's to serve. I'll read it right here. I'll share it with you on this right here. You know, Dr. Viktor Frankl, look up A Man's Search for Meaning. You want to read a good book, but he said, for success like happiness cannot be pursued. It must ensue, and it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a cause greater than oneself, or as the byproduct of one's surrender to a person other than oneself. Happiness must happen. And the same holds for success. You have to let it happen by not caring about it. Unselfishness. That's my answer. What about you?
Seatbelt. Honor, courage, commitment.
Hey, you gotta have that. Gotta have that. But that was a cop out.
I feel like you worded it way better than I could. I have to think about that question. There's a lot of good qualities to have in the Marine.
And you learned them as well.
Ones that I didn't have before, and now that I do have.
Yes. So, you got any off the top?
I don't know. Like, I feel like.
Go ahead. Go upstairs. Go upstairs to mama. Go upstairs. Go. Run.
Maybe just like, honestly, just growth.
There you go.
That's a big one. Growing is really important. And I feel like you just grow without even realizing it when you're in the Marine Corps. Yeah, I don't know. There's a million good qualities.
Yeah, I think
my brain kind of stops working when I have questions asked to me.
Resilience. Oh my God.
Unselfishness.
And discipline.
JJ did tie buckle.
Yeah, JJ did tie buckle, because empathy is a trait now of leadership.
Empathy.
But Jocko, shout out Sir Jocko, because he's outranks me by far, and retired Navy SEAL. But he says discipline equals freedom. Okay, so think about that. All right, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
We're gonna get off this topic.
Yeah.
Hardest fitness tests you had to endure. Drill instructor school from day one to the end was a complete fitness test of all types, and it's not just your physical fitness, it's your mental fitness, your social fitness, your spiritual fitness, which is Marine Corps total fitness, because we're getting after the holistic of a human being, trying to make them good in all of those domains, because those are the 4 pillars of a holistic life. And sometimes we fall short of those. But drill instructor school, boot camp, the Crucible. Wow, didn't think I was going to finish that. And a few of the hikes in TBS. In the basic school when I went through that in Quantico, because man, them hills, they real. So, and you know, like your physical fitness test, your combat fitness test, if you try, it's going to break you off every single time. If you apply yourself. So, but that's a constant. That's a thing too. The consistent challenging of yourself is so important. And the Marine Corps does that. But you also have to work at it too. Like, you can't just check the box. You can't just be in the, what we call it, the 3.5 mile club, where you only run the half mile for the CFT and you only run 3 miles a year. Now, of course, health wise, like I can't run as much as I used to. I have to swim. I have to do elliptical and things like that. But some people only run when it comes time for that test. And that's how they get by, and they still are able to attain scores. But the idea, what I'm getting at, is that it's a constant challenge, and you're a constant work in progress. And, that's how we sustain the transformation of becoming a Marine. And we hopefully don't just sustain, but we enhance it. And that's Marine Corps total fitness. So there's that. How about you?
What was the hardest sacrifices you've ever had?
No. What's the hardest fitness test? Come on, player.
No, I mean, I've only really done the 2 tests you have to take a year. But I will say boot camp was physically hard for me.
Yes.
But I also did surprise myself in boot camp. I didn't think I could do a lot that I ended up being able to do. Yeah, just like the daily physical things that you have to do in boot camp, definitely challenging, but you get through it and you learn that you can do those things.
And there's their confidence. Yeah. And they break you down, they build you up. So anybody listening, man, I mean, if you want to find a life that's worth it, full of service, something bigger than you, consider joining. You know, I'm not a recruiter. I could never be a recruiter. I'd be the worst ever. But I will say it is a life of service, and it is worth it. And some people have bad experiences. Some people have good experiences. Some people have great experiences. I've had all of those and more. And but overall, and the totality of it, it's been very rewarding, and I'm grateful. And guess what? There's bad leaders in the Marine Corps, and there's good leaders in the Marine Corps, and there's ugly people, tall people, short people. You get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Is that not everybody's perfect, but I do believe a life of service, again, is worth it. So, yeah. I mean, it's not just fitness. It's not just physical, though. It's not just physical. So I know you're doing this project, mental, social, spiritual. People always just put spiritual as a God subject. No, it's not. It can be. All right. But it's also like something bigger than you, right? Defending the Constitution is spiritual to me. Reminding myself that I'm a father. There's spiritual fitness. That's right. When everything else falls apart, you have the things that get you out of bed. That's spiritual fitness. So it's a constant churn. It's a constant burn. And sometimes you go to a duty station where, oh my God, like it's lax. It's like not that demanding, or it's not so cool, or it's not what's in the commercial, but that's where you're called to serve. So, you know, I always talk about Dr. King. And as far as a quote that keeps me going is, you know, be at your lot, you find yourself to be a street sweeper. Sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry, you know. You can look it up yourself, the street sweeper speech. I got the tattoo right here, street sweeper, because sometimes it's not all glorified, and you got to find ways to do that in your own life. That doesn't matter if you're just a Marine. That in anything. And a lot of Marines will be like, Marine Corps don't care about me. You know, really don't care about you. Go outside that gate. The regular world don't care about you at all. So that was a long answer. So, okay.
Now, what are the hardest sacrifices you've had to make?
Time with family and relationships with family. It is hindered a lot of them with my immediate family, not seeing them often, not seeing y'all grow up. Oh my God, missing so much of your childhood. I missed your birth. I was in Iraq. And then when you were a baby and you were little, I was a drill instructor, and I missed a lot of that. And also at the same time, I've shared before, she knows of it, substance abuse and things of that nature, to where I was there, but I wasn't really present. So there's those things. But I say the hardest sacrifice is time. But I also feel like it's been worth it in the totality of it. So, you know, there's an education that you get in the Marine Corps or in service that you cannot get anywhere else. A certain level of tolerance and education for other people of diversity, I still feel is a good word. Okay, I do. people from different backgrounds, people you've never seen. I've known people in the Marine Corps who had never actually seen a African American in person before. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, just things of that nature, and so much that the education that you get. So, but I do say overall, it comes at a cost of time, but it's worth it. I also say that to me, it's worth it. So what about you? What's the hardest sacrifice so far?
I didn't really know how to answer that question, but time is a good answer, honestly, because everyone deals with that. And time don't stop.
Time don't stop.
It don't stop.
It's not grammatically correct, but it is so true. Time don't stop.
It don't stop. If you had to go into another military branch, what branch would you have gone into and why?
Oh, man. I'd probably either have been in the Navy or the Army. Because I definitely, you see my ASVAB scores? No, wouldn't have been no Space Force, no Air Force, and no Coast Guard for me. You gotta be a little intellectually smart on paper, and I definitely wasn't. So, and I'm not now, so I'm still trying to learn. But I was drawn to, I wanted to be a combat medic, because that's our Kaba. I love you, man. He probably didn't like me when I was there, but at Challenge, he was one of the cadre there, and he was a combat medic, 91 Whiskey. So I thought that was cool to help people in that way and to still serve, or be like a ranger or something of that nature. And then the Navy, you could obviously try to be a SEAL. Try. That wouldn't have worked out good because I thought I could swim until I went to boot camp. Class 4, my whole career. And also you could be a corpsman, right? Because Marine Corps doesn't have its own medical. We are supported by the Navy on everything. And we work in tandem with the Navy on everything. I told you last night we were driving, they're like, what's your favorite branch to work with? And I said Navy, because we're pretty much the same. We just do different roles. So probably Navy or Army if I could have. But I didn't have the scores. I didn't have the scores. It wouldn't happen. But I pretty much went all in on Marine. So yeah.
Hoorah.
What about you? What other branch would you have joined? Because I was trying to get her to join another branch, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, I considered the Navy, but only if I was to like join with someone else.
Okay.
But I feel like I never really wanted to join any other branch, to be so honest.
Yeah.
I was straight on Marine Corps.
Silver Fidelis. And even our great Sergeant Major Marine Corps, I love him. He's amazing. He even said like it's almost irrational to want to join the Marine Corps. And that's not a diss to the Marine Corps by any means, Sergeant Major Marine Corps. But he's saying about how different and decisive we are, those who join this, because all of the tangible things you can find in other branches. All of it. Like all of it. You could be a pilot, you could be aviation, you could be fill in the blank. You could do any of the other occupational specialties, right? There's actually some you can't do in the Marine Corps, like medical. Like you can't do medical. It's not something in our skill set. We don't do tanks anymore. You know what I mean? Like there's certain aspects that you just can't have, but people still join it. And I think it's because of the intangibles that we offer. And it takes us living up to it too. So it's not just like, oh, automatically these things are going to happen. No, you have to provide them if you're a leader. And then if you're a follower, you need to try to embrace them as well. And, you know, keep the fire alive, remembering that you came here to be a Marine. That was it. You know, everything else is kind of gravy afterwards, honestly. Great Epicurus quote, this for any of us out there, is that do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not, because remember what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. And that is a 101 on gratitude right there. And that doesn't mean settle for less or don't have goals, but don't let goals have you and keep chasing the wind. You'll end up like a puppy or dog on the floor chasing your tail. So we all just wanted to become Marines, period. It wasn't about officer enlisted, rank, chest candy, like ribbons and medals and rank. It was just be a Marine. Everything else after that to me has been gravy. Just being honest. I got goals. I've definitely chased the wind and accolades and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just thankful just to be a United States Marine, period.
Period.
That's right.
What is one friendship you've made? One friendship while you've been serving?
It's just serving in the war.
In the war. And that has impacted your life.
The
forever.
War. Remember we were in the shit? Nah. Man, I can't say one because it is God rest his soul, Masson Brown, one of the greatest mentors ever. I love you. Rest in victory to him. Benny, right? Robes, Carlos, Andy, Caleb, Robes, Uncle Robes, right? I gotta say that again. Gonzo, Lil Daryl, I love y'all, man, forever. Man, all of them have impacted my life in so many ways. And they do to this very, very day. Because I just got a weird Instagram reel from Uncle Robes a minute ago. So
he always be sending me those too.
I know. Yeah, I'd probably get canceled if I played it. So anyway, but I love all of them. And he's the one, if you read the book that I wrote, Blood makes you related. Love makes you family. Uncle Robes taught me that. But all of those dudes and more. I mean, drill field friends too. Oh my God, Mark Allen, Mo, Pat, Peter, Cadet. I'm gonna keep going because there's just so many people I'm so grateful for that have. It's not just one; it's so many. So. Mm-hmm. And no, that wasn't just in war in the drill field in different places, but like it's a war zone every day. So, all right.
How has being a Marine positively and negatively impacted relationships with family?
It has made me understand unconditional love. And I share that not to diss anyone or to dismiss anyone, but there are so many conditions in being a Marine and being young and maturing based off wherever you come from. That you don't have the time nor maybe the capacity to apply yourself to some of the relationships you've had before with family, like blood family. And those relationships suffer and, grass grows where it's watered, and due to circumstances or disagreements or maturities or whatever, dude, like some grass wasn't always watered by either me or the other people. And that's unfortunate, and it is what it is. But, nothing but love for every single one of my family, but I don't have the best relationships with them. And that's not the Marine Corps' fault. That is my fault. Okay. That is our fault. It takes two to tango. So I don't believe in that. You'll see that with a lot of people with marriage. You'll see it as you stay in. They'll be like, oh, the Marine Corps ruined my marriage. No, you talking to that girl on Instagram ruined your marriage. And then you going out to the club all the time ruined your marriage. And I've been guilty of, so many of these things as well. But you not dealing with your stuff and going to therapy and seeking to be better ruined your marriage or your relationship with whomever. You not wanting to own your mistakes or deal with traumas of your past is what ruined certain relationships. It wasn't the Marine Corps. Don't blame the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps actually gives you a good opportunity to do it because you can seek help and you can get help. And there's so many shades with that. I know I probably just triggered 5 people at least listening going, well, when I saw help, it went like this. Well, you know what? You keep continue to seek help. You keep continue to try to better things. I'm not speaking from a pulpit of perfection by any means, but it has positively enhanced some and has negatively enhanced others. And I think the underlying thing has been the subject of unconditional love, because sometimes relationships with fill in the blank whomever are based on conditions. And you don't know where you stand with certain people or things or places until you're put into a moment of friction to where you get to see, and some stuff doesn't last, and that's okay. That's okay. Not all of us are good for each other, and that's okay. I wish them nothing but the best. And like John Lewis said, I wish you well, all of you. Love you.
What is one piece of advice you would give to people who want to become a Marine?
Be open-minded and trust the process and focused on the next thing that's in front of you. Mm-hmm. Be open-minded, trust the process, and focus on the next thing that's in front of you. All rooting in at the same time unselfishness. Help your buddy that's next to you that's lacking. Marine Corps is not a world where you go succeeding and shining and people go, great job, while you're just leaving the others behind. Simple example of boot camp, they say run back and go get something. You got to be back up front in 10 seconds and you show up in 5 seconds, but your buddy's struggling for whatever the reason, but you didn't stop to help her or him. That's selfish, right? So don't be selfish. Don't be an asshole. We got enough of them in the world. We don't need any more, right? Are there selfish people sometimes? Of course. But I would say be open-minded, trust the process, and similar to what, Will Smith has preached and has expressed is that brick by brick, right? That's how things are done. You don't focus on building a wall. You focus on laying that next brick, and you put everything you can into that next thing. I remember so Major Cox, I love you, brother, Threster, Big T. He used to always ask me, like when we was making Marines, he would say, how's it going? And I would say, one ready move at a time. Because when you say ready move, that's what you tell the recruits before they go to the next, whatever you told them to do, whether it's a, PT event or if it's, cleaning a rifle, whatever the thing is, it's all precipitated upon us doing it, instant obedience and saying, ready, move, and then they execute. And I would tell him one ready move at a time. That's how we build Marines. And I feel like you have to trust that process and give your all to the next thing. Don't worry about if you think about going and you go, oh my God, 13, 14 weeks. No, you focus on one training day at a time. And what was the thing I used to always write you? What we say? And every recruit understands this when you're in boot camp. You live something to something and then something to something. What was it? You remember?
No, wait.
I think this is a sign of trauma. She's blocking out a lot of stuff.
I don't remember those times.
No, It's play-by-play, Nick Saban process, right? But also chow to chow.
Yeah, Sunday to Sunday.
Sunday to Sunday,
Yeah.
right? Mail call to mail call when you get mail, because you still have to do written letters in Marine Corps boot camp. There's no phone calls. There's none of that stuff. Maybe you got a phone call because y'all did something good. Your senior was awesome and gave you a phone call. But the going rate is you're not going to talk to them until it's the end and you've made it. But I used to tell her letters like just chow to chow, meaning you're going to eat 3 times a day. That's guaranteed. And you just be like, okay, breakfast, now just make it to lunch. Make it to dinner, which we call evening chow, afternoon chow, morning chow, and then Sunday to Sunday, because Sunday is church, and you will see the most atheist people in the world be going to church and boot camp, right?
Yeah,
for real.
That was me.
Yeah, because it's where you can commune with others. The drill instructors aren't there. Sing songs. You don't even know the church songs, but you there singing them like, oh boy, yes, Lord. You turn to TD Jakes at boot camp.
I was screaming those songs. I'm not playing.
Yeah. Right. So I'd say trust the process, be open-minded, and don't be selfish. Brick by brick, it all adds up day by day. And if I can do it, oh my God, anybody can do it. And you might not be the best, but you damn sure ain't gonna be the worst, whoever you are. I remember telling you that before boot camp. You were scared from the physical aspect because we were running and I would do sprints while we were running, and she doesn't like running. I don't either, which is why I do it, or why I've learned to do it, because you grow from the things you hate. And anyway, we were running, and like one night you kind of teared up and you're like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this. Right. But I'm like a Marine of 2 decades, and I definitely wasn't awesome when I came in. So you grow, you sustain the transformation, you enhance the transformation. I've gotten better is what I'm saying. Anybody does, right? The point being is that she was so scared physically that she wouldn't be able to measure up. And I told her, I said, look, baby, you may not be the best, but you damn sure ain't gonna be the worst. And what happened when you got to boot camp? Without naming names.
I surprised myself. What do you mean?
A lot of people sucked, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. A lot of people sucked real bad. Too. Yeah, but in physical aspects, they sucked worse than you, did they not?
Yeah.
I mean, scores are scores. It is what it is, right? And that's not to brag or flaunt, but you wound up being the highest score for a physical fitness test, right? You were what they call Ironman, and you had to go off, or you had to challenge another boy. I'm bragging right now. I'm dad bragging. Yes, I am. There was her and another male, because it's integrated now for a good reason. So I'm not even gonna get on that, but we're doing better. It's very good for these young ones to see authority figures of the opposite genders or sex or whatever the fuck the word is we can say right now. People of don't be like them. I'm a man and that's a woman and I see her in authority. That is important and I think it's good. But in the day to day, they do not live together. They live with the males and the males live with the males and the females. You can't even talk to them. Exactly. But you had males yell at you and those males had females yell at them. And that's good because it used to not be like that. I digress, but I think it makes us better. Okay. Yeah. It really does.
It does.
And we'll see that. I think the generational effect of that in a good way come soon.
100%.
I do. I really do. But anyway, they only can have one company Ironman now because it used to be like a female company would be on track with a male company. So if I was Delta Company as a drill instructor, I would be on track with Papa, right? Well, you would have a male high PFTer, the Iron person, the Iron Man for Bravo or Delta Company, and you would have one for Papa Company. So it would be, one representation of each, and they'd have high shooter. Well, now it's all together. They're all in the same company. So now you only have one company Ironman, one company high shooter, one company whatever, right? Because they're all one team, all same thing. And she wound up having to go head to head with a male that they tied in scores, right? And they said plank off was the most equal way to determine, because physiologically we're different, right? But it's great standards what we have in the Marine Corps, and they put them head to head, and the most equal way to assess their physical fitness was to do a plank and who could hold it longest. And that dude was a beast too, man. And y'all went for 6 minutes and 37 seconds, was it? And yeah, she was for that. But that I'd say that because not to brag. Well, I did brag. A dad brags. She didn't. She's very humble. But you think one thing and you think you suck, or you think you can't do it, or you think you're not going to do good, or you're questioning yourself, you're doubting yourself. That's kind of good because that means you're not an asshole and you're not a sociopath narcissist, right? You want to have confidence, but at the same time, we all are like, I could never do that. You'd be so fucking surprised, right? And she felt like that too. Like, I can't do that, but wound up being, for that particular evaluation, one of the best, if not the best, right? So all I'm saying is look around. If other people can do it, you can too. But it really boils down to how unselfish can you be to want to serve a cause that is bigger than you. our way of life, our Constitution. And then most of the times when people go to war, they're not fighting for the cause, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. They're fighting for the person next to them and the people behind them. That's really the honest truth. So unselfishness, I think, is you need it in service. And for success like happiness, it can't be pursued. It must ensue. And I'll give you the Viktor Frankl quote another time, but I already said it on this. So that's, wow, we said we were going to do this in 20 minutes, and then my long-winded ass.
We're about to hit 1 hour.
Yeah, we are.
10 seconds until one. Yep.
Yeah. No, but it was good, though. And I appreciate you, Katie, my little baby cousin. It was like kind of like a niece because of the age differences and stuff. But I had kids real early, and my uncle had kids real late. So, but he was always like, uncle, the best uncle in the world, still is. And my auntie, I don't want to name names, but I don't mess up their credit and shit. But they might have a job application and be like, that dude off that podcast had cited you. So anyway, Kate, hey, this was a privilege, and thank you for asking us these types of questions. Look over it again. Is there anything that, because you know my dumb ass, I put in high definition ADHD. Yeah, is there anything that you want to still answer? Your service still matters, no matter if it's a year or 20 years, it doesn't matter. Anyone's service matters. All of you matter, and we're all links in the chain, all of us. And I know I cuss a little bit, and I know I say things off color, but man, I'm just giving y'all real talk on here. I've told y'all that shit before. And if my language offends you, well, listen to something else or skim or swipe another direction or whatever the thing is that you're supposed to do. It's a free world. You don't have to listen. Right. But again, this is just my perspective on these things. Me, I'm not speaking for the entire everything, no official organization, no official endorsement to. I'll endorse them to say that you should join something bigger than you in the armed forces, specifically the Marine Corps, if you want to have a purpose in life, if you want something bigger than you. And it's going to be hard. And there's going to be times you question it, and you're going to fall short, and you're going to have depression, and you're going to have high points and low points, but you have to keep moving forward. We're losing a lot of people right now, and I just ask everyone, do not choose a permanent solution over a temporary circumstance. Whatever you're going through, good or bad, this too shall pass. That's what I'm going to say. Any save rounds over here, ma'am?
Good to go.
Really? For real?
Yeah, seriously.
All right. What's one piece of advice you give somebody who wants to join?
I feel like before I joined, I was really focused on just boot camp, and I think a lot of people are. Like, it's like when you're a poolee, when you're getting into that, when you're about to join, before you go to boot camp, you're like, oh, boot camp. But really, boot camp, like we've talked about this many times, boot camp is like 3 months out of your 5 or 4 year contract. That's or right. Longer. It's really like so small in the long aspect of That's being right. a Marine. No matter how long you're in, like it really is such a short amount of time.
But it's unforgettable.
Oh, besides me, I low-key don't really remember boot camp.
That's a side of trauma, but that's good. That's how you grow.
Yeah.
It's PTSD, post-traumatic stress growth. You're growing.
Of course, exactly. I really, but I will say that my mind just went kind of blank. But yeah, I don't know. I think being a Marine, I don't regret it at all. And I don't think you would. We've also talked about this, like just serving, like you're not ever going to regret that. So
that's right.
Yeah, I think serving or just doing something with the military, whether it's a Marine or another branch, you'll never regret it. You can't be like, I wish I didn't do that. So
yeah. No, that's well said, and I think it's a good point to anyone out there thinking about it. Everyone, and it's good, right? You should focus on boot camp. The transformation is so hard to become a Marine.
No, for real, yeah.
I mean, to the point where like I was still becoming a Marine when I was making Marines as a drill instructor. Like I was, like you're still growing. Like it's a constant sustaining the transformation of becoming a Marine. Mm-hmm. But I will say that was a great point for anyone out there thinking about it. We focus so much on those 13 weeks. I'll do the math. I'm not really good at math. I do math with 2 F's, math. There's 52 weeks in a year, right? Average contract is 4 years, right? So that's 208 weeks. Boot camp is 13 weeks. There's 195 other weeks that you're going to spend somewhere at some duty station doing some job and being with some unit that is going to be more of your experience than that 13 weeks. 195 weeks is the average. I mean, you got job school, you got different things. Everybody's got a different length of time for that. But 195 weeks is about the average of time that most of us, all of us, is going to spend in the operating forces doing a certain job that you may not enjoy. So I would say anybody that's thinking about it, like really look into the day-to-day the job. And with social media right now, with the way to connect with people, you could really go on anything and be like, hey, anybody out there, motor T operator in the Marine Corps, how's that going every day? Or, hey, if you're an admin Marine, how's that life every day, right? And you'll get so mixed up of different perspectives, right? But logistics is a cool MOS. Comms, admin is a cool MOS. You help people. It's CLP. You keep the Marine Corps motivated and dedicated. CLP. That's not just how you clean weapons. That's child labor pay, because people out here, and they're here for a reason, right? So child labor pay, I mean, what you do with communication, strategic operations, right? Like, you're a professional videographer and photographer, and no, I know you're humble, you haven't done it yet in the operating forces, but it matters, the messaging and the cool opportunities you get. But what if you're a machine gunner, or you're a rifleman, or like so many of us don't think about that part of it. Every Marine is a rifleman first. We're all infantry. If it went blow to blow, we would all be infantry, and we're trained as such. But you have that day-to-day military occupational specialty that you might want to do some research on. And you might want to find out where you go. Or for anybody out there doing 4 years and they go, oh, the whole Marine Corps sucked. Maybe just your experience in Quantico or Camp Pendleton sucked with whatever said unit. It really never depends on where you're at. It's what are you doing and who are you with? That's the God's honest truth. It's never a matter of where you're at. I hated going to Camp Lejeune, my first duty station, Camp Lejeune, whatever we want to call it. But all of those relationships I cited were some of the best people. I'd never known them, right? I just so much. So again, I get back to trust the process, be open-minded, but really do think about the other 195 weeks or however many weeks, but 13 weeks is 13 weeks is 13 weeks, right? We do focus so much on that. And then it's like, now what? And the Marine Corps is maybe not going to answer that for you every day. Then now what? They're going to put challenges in front of you, but you have to continue to become more resilient. You have to continue to grow. And if you're at some cush duty station where you're like, I wanted to be in the field and deploying and stuff, well, now's the opportunity for your ass to do college that you said you were going to do. Now's the opportunity for you to volunteer in the community, be a youth sports coach, do some other things, volunteer. I don't know, fill in the blank. Maybe go to the gym really hard, because you may be at another duty station where you can't do those things because of the mission that you're actually handed, and you're like constantly out and doing operations and things like that. So, and guess what those people are complaining about? Oh, I wanted to do college and I ain't got no time. And I want to do something in the community. I ain't got no time. Look, back to square one. We Americans, we just like to complain. Okay. But maneuver warfare is exploit the gap of where you're at, right? Exploit the opportunities you have in front of you. So do the thing that's in front of you, but you sometimes got to be creative, and you can't rely on the system to do it for you. That's weak. That's selfish. That's lazy. Go out and fill your own cup. You got to. And many days the Marine Corps will, but there's some days maybe where it won't. So don't go stagnant. Like Bruce Lee said, running water never grows stale. So you got to keep growing. You got to keep flowing, right? And stagnation leads to degradation. Wow. Sorry, Katie, that was long. I turned this into I'm going to publish this now as my own podcast, because this is fun, right? No, did you have fun?
I did have fun.
All right. This is the first time we've ever done this.
Podcast, guys.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great. And thank you seriously for your service, because it matters. These young ones, there's so many people that are either not capable, not competent, or just not willing to answer the call to serve. We need people. We need good people. And if you don't like it, then change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. My Andrew said, if you don't like something, change it. If you can't change it, change your attitude. So why don't you go be the leader you needed? Go be the light. You know what I'm saying?
Know what I'm saying?
Any save rounds?
I will say another thing.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned so much about myself, and it's only been a year. I'm still learning so much, and I still have so much more to learn. And I think that's something I wish I knew was coming. And I think it's important for people to know that, if you do this, you're gonna learn a lot. Yes. And I guess that's with anything you do in life, but
you got to continue learning.
It's different, yeah.
You got to continue. That's a great mindset to have. You got to continue. None of us have ever fucking made it. None of us have solved it all. When I said earlier to Sergeant Major Marine Corps, there's no higher he can go, but I know from a fact that man and this commandant, high as he is up in the hierarchy, they're still trying to learn. They're still trying. As the commandant said in the letter, the white letter he did when he was at ACMAC, he said, guidance to the force. He said, join me, I'm trying to quote it, as we earn the privilege to wear the eagle over an anchor every day. So it's not like you just get it and then that's done. No, you got to continue earning it, continue growing, right? And then continue to be open-minded to the things. And some of it you're going to suck at, and some of it's going to feel like it's the end of the world. And some of it you might find adversity, or you get in trouble, or you get a bad counseling, or a 6105 or something. But you got to keep fucking moving forward. Marines don't quit. We don't give up. Never quit. and never give up. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
Check. Feel motivated?
If you know, you
I
know.
can do the whole speech, dog. I can do the whole speech.
Oh, I know you can.
You never lies, cheats, or steal. All right. Anyway, sorry. All right. Hey, y'all. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for being here, C. I love you with all of my heart.
Oh.
She makes every day better, and I'm grateful. And I tell y'all, keep living. If anybody's out there thinking of making a permanent solution for a temporary circumstance, man, you have no idea who or what is coming down the road, or even the people you have around you, how things may evolve and change. This is my fellow sister now in the Marine Corps, right? Like,
yeah, brother.
If I'd have acted on certain things, you still call me dad, and sir, by the way,
Hi, sir.
I wouldn't. We wouldn't. This would never be. So think about that. And if you're thinking about making a permanent decision, because I do like to always have something in prevention, like your pain ends, but everyone else's begins. So as C said in the beginning, man, keep moving forward. All right. Thank y'all for listening. Katie, have fun trying to dissect and pull out anything.
Katie.
Sorry.
We love you.
We love you. All right. And as Dr. Seuss said, all the places you'll go. Okay. This has been episode 61. Talking about resilience, staying brilliant. Because of what? Even got my children, because they willing and they deserve. Because we what? Unselfish, so we serve. Bars. What's up? You got some bars?
Bars. Chars.
Yeah.
Stars. Bars.
Thank you for listening. Much love to you all. Good or bad, this too shall pass. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You know who we're sponsored by on this show? Nobody, baby. Much love, y'all. Make good choices. Be there for each other. Connect to protect. Shit, I got to press a button.